Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Cooley from Maranatha Call. I just wanted to give you an encouragement today, because that's what we want to do on this channel, is encourage one another. So I asked the Lord to encourage me with something so I could give it to you guys. I have a cousin who does long distance running, and I think it was about a year ago, my brothers and I were at one of his races, and he had like this preset track that he would run like in a big loop. Maybe it was like a figure eight, but he would be running on this, and he would have to run it a certain amount of times to get up to the distance that he was supposed to run. I think it was like 4 miles or something like that. But 2 Timothy 4:7 tells us there's a good fight to be fought, and a race to be run, and a faith to keep. Paul says, I have fought the good fight. I have run the race. I have kept the faith. As my brothers and I and different people would be watching the runners go around, we would be able to see where they were going to come, and we would be waiting there for them to cheer them on. And that's what we want to do in this channel, is encourage one another to keep running. Encourage one another to keep fighting. Encouraging one another to keep the faith. Because, as my cousin would be the first to tell you, we need endurance. So the encouragement that I want to give you is, have you ever felt like you're in the spot where you're just like, I need endurance? You just suddenly so aware of your need. It just collides with you, that awareness of your need for endurance, right? Because life gets hard sometimes. Psalm 34 says, many are the afflictions of the righteous, right? So we know we will have afflictions. Christ is a perfect example of this. He came here to do the Father's will, and he was acquainted with grief. He was a man of sorrows. He experienced hardship. And all those who desire to live godly, like him, will have persecution. We are confronted with a need for endurance. I think it was Derek Prince. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but I believe he did a teaching one time where he said, basically, I'm paraphrasing, he was like asking the question, how do you get endurance? And then he would tell his congregation, I guess, this is how you get endurance. And then he said, by enduring. So it was kind of like, okay, so I get endurance by enduring. How do I endure? Well, the encouragement is, as it says, I believe in 2 Corinthians, that our sufficiency is from God. And you get this theme. You catch a glimpse of this theme running like veins through the bedrock of the Bible. This theme of our sufficiency coming from God. You see it all over in the Bible. Our sufficiency is from him. So what does that look like in our lives, in our daily lives? What does that look like, that sufficiency coming from him? One of my favorite passages in the Bible is found in John chapter 15, where Jesus said, he used the picture of the vine and the branches to describe basically our lives in him. He said, we are the branches abiding in him, the vine. And that is so true for the nitty-gritty of our lives, the details, the stuff that we go through daily. That's hard. Our sufficiency comes from him. That's like saying the life from that vine, the sap, it comes from the vine into the branches. It comes from him. That sufficiency that the branch needs, that life that the branch needs, comes from God, comes from the vine. It's from God, the vine, into us, the branches. Everything. The endurance that we need comes from Him. Every good and perfect gift is from above. We, in this life that's hard, are learning to depend upon Him. There's all these different arenas in our lives where we are faced with the choice of depending on ourselves or depending upon God, being independent or dependent. And we don't want to be independent, because then we're like sitting ducks by ourselves out in the open. We're exposed to the enemy's attacks. We're exposed to the old sin nature. We're exposed and open. But when you're living dependent upon Him for everything, you're a branch abiding in Him. You're a branch having faith and trust, depending in the vine, that it will give you the life that you need. In every arena of life, you find out that it's better to depend upon Him, because our sufficiency is from Him. And that is absolutely true. It may sound trite to say that that God is faithful and that He'll give you everything you need, but in the limited time that I've lived on planet Earth, I can honestly say, in all the hardships I've been through, that when I chose to depend with absolute dependence upon Him for His sufficiency, for His life-giving sap running into me to sustain me, when I've depended upon Him for all my needs, He is faithful. It's like, that verse that says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." You may have people telling you that a strawberry is good, it's sweet, it's delicious, but you don't know because you haven't tasted it. The invitation is, in every arena of your life, taste Him and see that He is good, and you will find, lo and behold, a strawberry tastes good. He is good. You have to taste and see and find out for yourself. Put your trust in Him and depend upon Him for your sufficiency. It's just true, I dare you to find that out for yourself. So be encouraged that when you are dealing with all this stuff, whatever it is, you know what it is, bring it to God, pour out your heart before Him, and realize that your sufficiency comes from Him. And if you need endurance, endure, because He's there and He's true and He'll help you. So be encouraged, guys. God bless you. I love you so much. We'll see you later.